Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you are consuming content like this. The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we are choosing. What I'm discussing in this video, and welcome back if you're a person that's already been here before, and then welcome if you are here for the first time. I share a lot of wisdom, a lot of insight. If you look at some of my old videos, I share my good energy. I share my whole essence because I don't think in this life we have anything that we should be holding back. So what I'm discussing in this video is soul ties. Not soul ties, soul tribes. I need to do a video on soul ties. Soul tribes. I was thinking about this because I was wondering, how do people know they actually are connected to someone who's a part of their soul tribe? And what is a soul tribe? For me, a soul tribe has always been a person or an environment to where you sink right into it and you don't have to work hard, you don't have to overthink, and you don't have to sort of jump through hoops to be seen, to be heard, or to be understood in any kind of way. And that's not to say that there's going to be perfection in those groups and there's never going to be disagreements. There's never going to be discussions to where people don't have are not on the same page. But when you are there, it is not a detriment to the connection. It's not a detriment even to the conversation. It's not a detriment to being connected to each other, right? Because you can move past those things sort of really, really quickly. I was thinking about this the other day and I was wondering what type of person is in a soul tribe that is connected to me. And for the most part, that type of person is someone who I have a phone conversation with. I can pick up right where I left off, and I don't have to explain too much about my life. They're not offended because we haven't talked in a while. And we can just go on about these subjects and topics that are both interesting and both fun and funny to us, right? I talk to people on a regular basis sometimes, but a lot of times I'm one of those people that talk to people that's spread out. Once I get to know somebody and I see that they can be a cool person or a friend, or they can be a nice connection or a good networking person, if I haven't talked to them in a while, I find a reason to sort of pick up and kind of chat with them again. One of the people I can think of really easily is my realtor. When I met her, it was way before I actually purchased the home. I was looking and then some stuff fell through and then it just didn't work out at the time. And I wound up getting an apartment and she showed me a bunch of houses, but she was so easy and nice. And it was such an easy connection to have, right? If we were not in different phases of our lives, we probably would connect more. Just in general, her children are a big jump younger than mine and all. And so it's a different phase, different times. But, just recently I had a question about something going on with HOA and I was sending her a message and we got on the phone and it just was easy to talk to, easy to chat, easy to converse. And to me, those are the people that are part of your soul tribe. When I also think of soul tribe, I don't think of it as people that you have to have text messages with every day. You have to have coffee with every day. You have to go to lunch with all the time. That there's this underlying connection that doesn't go away when you're not in each other's presence all the time. And it doesn't matter race, ethnicity, gender, age, all those things are surpassed. One of the biggest people that I know in my soul tribe is a mentor that I've had for a long time. And I think there's probably a 20-year or so age gap with us. She's a senior to me. And I look at her life and I'm always goals, because she's always doing something that I'm, heavily interested in. But of course, her kids are 30 years old and 32 and stuff like that. And then my daughters, that's a huge jump from where they're at. So we're in different phases of life. But at the same time, whenever there's an event or some type of get together or some type of community thing that she's working on and doing things for, I'm always invited and I'm always there. But sometimes I literally go 8 months or so without even, saying a word. But I can literally pick up the phone and go, oh, I saw this on YouTube and thought about you. I don't have to say, hi, how's it been going? How's your day? What's been happening in your life? Now, if we pick up and we do that, that's fine. But I don't have to do that in order to interact with her. It's just right where it is. And I'm I saw this and thought of you. She's like, oh, good. She was like, our connection is so serendipitous. It's so tapped in because I was just thinking about you. And she was like, there's actually something from me in the mail to you right now. And that's happened to us more than once. And I also think that's another part too. A soul tribe person is somebody to where like you think about them and you find out that they were thinking about you at the same time. They were wondering what was happening about with you about the same exact time that you were wondering with them. And that whole thing where as you think about them or they cross your mind and then they send you a message on social media or they send you a text message or they pick up the phone and call you or they, send you a gift through the mail. That to me, those are people that you have a soul tribe with. My number one characteristics is that you don't have to try that hard. You don't have to convince them of your value. You don't have to convince them of your worth. You don't have to show up all shiny and perfect and all the time looking like, you always being like turned on when you are in their acquaintance. You can genuinely just be who you are. You can smile and you can pick up those conversations and those connections right where you left them off, right? And I think those things are golden. And sometimes that we don't always know when we've come across these people, but I think we do know for sure when we haven't come across those people, because it's then the opposite effect. It's people that you're around and you feel like if you forget their birthday, then they're not going to like you for like a year or whatever. I've had that with tons of family members, even parents. Couldn't make a birthday event for them, then they don't even call you on your birthday or say anything. It's like you already know it's tit for tat. Like those kind of relationships, they suck. They're so draining. It's so annoying. But sometimes we just come from these environments and it is what it is. Like nobody has a conversation. Nobody says what's on their mind. Nobody actually approaches you with anything, but they passive aggressively tit for tat you with everything. Like if you are not in a good space or whatever and you can't talk to them for like whatever reason is going on with you, maybe you're having, personal issues, they take it personal and they hold it against you. And so like everything that comes up, everything that's going on in your life, they find a way to ignore it or bypass it because this one time you didn't show up for them or do something for them or come to an event or give them a birthday gift or something like that. Not your soul tribe. And people always like to act like just because people are blood connected to you, just because you grew up with them, just because your parents were connected or everything like that, that is soul tie. It is not. Because those are sometimes the people, to me, I feel like give you the most trouble. They're, to me, sometimes the people that show you an example of what you don't want to deal with and what you don't want to have to be connected to. Because if you think about what you give out and what you share and who you are and how you show up in the world and whether or not people are receiving that on some level, it's a lot of times it's not going to be in your immediate connections. It's not going to be in your immediate families. It's not going to be in those spaces. So when I say soul tribe, that's people that are connected to you at a soul level and you do not have to put on a show with. They do not think the worst of you every time they get a chance, right? They do not think the most horrible things of you every time that, you don't show up for this or you can't talk about this or you can't be a part of whatever. They always have the best thoughts of you in mind. They always think, well, blah, blah, blah. And you know what else I find too? If you are raised in an environment where somebody was always gossiping about other people, they always had negative things to say about other people, they never saw the bright side in other people for the most part, a lot of times that trickles through the entire family unit, right? Because if it comes through the parents, it trickles through the entire family unit. And then you find that those connections you have, possibly siblings, possibly cousins, and all the, aunts, uncles, whatever it is that you're immediately connected to, that there's always going to be that undertone of a negative energy sitting behind everything. Like, they'll say, hi, they talk to you and all that. But the minute you're not in their presence and on the phone, they'll be like, girl, she said this, but she always doing this, she always doing that. And that's the kind of environment you come from. So a lot of times your soul tribe is not going to be found in those immediate connections. But where they will be found is when you move around the world and you start connecting with other people and you see what genuine connections are. And this is super important for introverted people too, because we're not always texting, picking up the phone and calling and all this kind of stuff. But when people understand that and they respect it and they love you anyway and they appreciate you anyway and they look out for you and you look out for them and they know that everything you're doing is genuine and what you do for them is genuine and what they do for you is genuine, that's when you'll know that you have soul tribe. Because a lot of people think it's this little community that shows up and you go to lunch every week and you hang out together, blah, blah, blah. You get in a sorority or something. It's like, oh, soul tribe. Half of those people are joining those organizations because they don't know who they are quite yet and they're trying to figure it out. So when you think about a soul tribe, it's usually going to be somebody over there, way over there, somebody from back there, because it's never usually going to be people that are all connected to each other. It's going to be your connections individually with those people from different environments. So just about every environment I've been in, not every, but a lot of environments that I've been in the past, not dragged, but I've had people that stayed with me from those times. And then there's levels also to those soul tribes. So just remember, it feels warm. It feels welcoming. You don't have to maintain it so much, you know? They don't have to maintain you. You don't have to maintain them. There's not always this worst case scenario, why I didn't talk to you sort of energy going on. You can pick up where you left off very easily. You don't have to try that hard when you're having conversations with them. When you're talking about doing new things and all that, you don't even feel the need to hold back because you know they're not putting negative energy on what you're working on and what you're doing because you feel that the connection is real. There's people that I share things with all the time that I'm working on. There's no negative energy coming that way. I know it. I feel it. I've been around it. They're not even tapped in a way that they feel competitive with you, that they feel like, you know, you don't deserve this or whatever. Secretly, they want what you have. There's none of that going on. They're doing their thing. You're doing your thing. Sometimes it's the same and it's perfectly okay. But the soul tribe will always feel like next to being by myself. Like I don't have to work so hard. I don't have to prove anything. Relationships like that are wonderful too. When you don't have to prove anything and you're not constantly under the gun of like, if I do this thing wrong, then this person's not going to be with me. Like those are rough relationships. They drain the heck out of you. But when you actually get into a personal romantic relationship or whatever with a soul tribe person, it's almost like not even having to like do anything like out of the ordinary. And at the same time, they push you to your greatest version just by existing in your space, just by being there, just by existing. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share all those wonderful things. Because I like this channel to grow. I enjoy doing this and I want to keep doing it for a long time. I hope you all were able to get something from this message. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day.